Welcome, everybody, to the R&R CatCast, a fan-based podcast focusing on Montana State athletics. We're two dudes named Ryan from the state of Washington talking about our dear Montana State. We hope you enjoy.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, Bobcat Nation. We are recording this on a crisp Wednesday night. Getting ready for some tournament talk, some recap of Boise, and I am joined by both the Ryans. Thorny, Foley, I had a good time in Boise. Yeah, it was just starting it off. We have two big games to talk about, one season over and one heading to the tournament. How are you guys doing tonight?
You know, I'm doing all right. I haven't been on for a while. It's going to be good to talk a little bit of Bobcat basketball, even though one game I don't want to talk about.
Well, Thorny's made me cranky already, but I did appreciate that Boise. So, nice job, Zach.
Try my best. I was rehearsing the entire time.
I'm glad my crankiness is rubbed off.
Yeah.
Spreading it out.
So I'll give a little recap. Shout out once again to the town of Boise. Spectacular job. Great job with that tournament. They put a great job on. The area is fantastic, easy to get to. Once again, great food around there. I had a blast, even though the men didn't win. The women's game was fantastic. You guys should go. Seriously. Like one of these years you should just, if it's a spring break, go. It's awesome.
Got a question. Do you buy individual tickets for the games, or do you just buy a day pass? Do you buy a pass for all the games? What's the options?
I should buy the all options pass, but like an idiot, I forget, and then I end up buying single day passes.
Nickel and dime your way through it.
Yeah.
Can you buy a day pass?
Oh yeah, you can buy them, but I think the men's section was $40 and the women's session is like $20.
Okay, that's not bad.
So it's not the worst, but if you're there for 3 days, it adds up.
Yeah, fair enough. I want to go one of these years, but it's always like during one of my busiest times in my job, so it's just hard. But one of these years
It's also middle of the week too.
It's also middle of the week. Yeah. I wish it would start on a Friday or something. It starts what? Was it Tuesday or is it Monday or
technically starts on a Saturday and goes to a Wednesday.
Okay, that's not too bad, but it's just tough for me.
I don't have a job that allows me to just casually log in and watch the games as I'm teaching math to the kids. So I wasn't able to watch most of this. I was catching up through the streaming, kind of watching ESPN numbers, but not the game. I had to go back and watch a little bit of the women's game because that's really all that interested me in this one.
So you never were the teacher that brought in the projector to show March Madness during class?
I'm not going to say I was never that teacher, but
that was more of a history teacher thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Starch Madness. I'm not sure that's worth wheeling a projector in.
I would.
I guess Eastern's close by, so at least you have a relevant interest in it.
Do they lean into the whole Starch Madness thing? Are they giving out fries everywhere and just potato products? Is Simplot just full on everywhere over there? If you don't know who Simplot is, he's the billionaire that sold potatoes to McDonald's and built his fortune, and he's a Boise native. I do believe. Look, I don't know if he's still alive.
Yeah,
but
they lean into the name pretty hard. I'm not kidding you. Every time it cut to commercial, it was, "Who wants a free Starch Madness t-shirt?" And then they threw 3 t-shirts into the crowd. All right, next break, we got 3 more t-shirts for everybody. So
how generous.
They leaned. Oh no, just the poor mascots and cheerleaders. I thought their arms were going to fall off the amount of those things they threw out. But I will give you this take. I've been very complimentary. The one thing I will say, the in-arena food is very meh. And the French fries, meh. Come on, you got how Major League Baseball teams do specialty food items. I know the Mariners have the garlic fries. They need better French fries in the arena.
Especially if you're calling yourself Starch Madness, you better have some good French fries.
So go back to this t-shirt cannon thing. How much money would you pay to be the guy that shoots t-shirt cannon or t-shirts into the audience for a game. Like if they offer you that job, you'd be like, no, I'll pay for that job because that obviously sounds really fun. How much money would you pay to operate
boring quickly?
$10.
Yeah.
$10.
Like I'm not spending very much.
Man,
the thrill would wear off pretty quickly.
I can tell you this. I think they were selling Starch Madness t-shirts for $35, and I said no to that and opted for the free koozie that I have right here.
There you go.
Sorry, Coolie. But,
what would your first target be if you had the t-shirt cannon?
And so
would you try to nail an unsuspecting person in the face?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I'd pick a Grizz fan and just smoke him.
The guy at the Grizz shirt. Just 2 rows away.
Well, I will say this. Normally, if 2 teams are playing and the team for the next round has already won, like the higher seed, they always sit and watch the game of the teams they'll potentially play.
Mm-hmm.
If I was the Bobcat fan and we had the UNC, I would have just smoked like 4 UNC players with the t-shirt cannon, just all the t-shirts.
That's tampering. I like it.
Yeah.
Turn up the regulator. I like it.
Tampering is totally legal now in any way, shape, or form, so I'm okay with it.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll let you guys choose your own adventure tonight. All right. Do you want to get into the women's side of the tournament first, or do you want to go to the men's?
Let's get the bad news out of the way first.
All right.
Unless you have a different feeling about that fully, but I want to just get this over with. Yeah, rip the Band-Aid off.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off, and then we'll get to the fun part at the end.
Yes.
Going as the 5 seed, and we pretty much smoke Idaho State. If one of you guys have the stats up, I don't have it on my screen right now, but we played extremely well. We shot the ball really well. We rebounded pretty well. Idaho State had a very poor shooting night. That was the one thing that sucked. It was like the ball just wasn't going in for him. Bryce Zephyr had an awesome dunk that got himself on SportsCenter. And, I was a few drinks in. I texted you guys, Matt, MF, and Logie. I was all in. I was hot. I was like, it's happening again. Here we go. We're going down this path again. Because I remember what we did to Weber State. I was like, here we go. Tournament time.
And Joe Cravens kept talking about all the similarities with finish with like the same regular season record. Like all these things are happening. It's going to happen again for the Bobcats. And I'm like, I'm believing.
I was in full hopium mode. I was like, it's going to happen again. Here we go. Hopium. And then the next night happened.
Yeah. You shoot 66%, man. Like almost 67%. That's crazy. We made a third of our shots. That's crazy. At least, free throws. I had to scroll up. Well, 63% field goal percentage, 40%, 41% from 3-point line. And so, it was. You're right. It was the sauce. I was believing too. I was like, "Here we go, Tyler Patterson," and like he's this. It's just gonna go down.
Tyler Patterson is not gonna go out as a senior without taking the Cats on one more run.
Yep.
Like all these things. We took out Brandon Walker, and that was working out for us. Like that was the 3rd game in a row we won since we benched Brandon Walker. Like things it was all coming to Bobcats there for a minute.
It was
just a minute.
It was fun to watch Dylan Darling just pout on national television
he was
too.
Struggling.
Yeah, he was getting cranky too. His body language was atrocious. He was just done.
He's a fun villain. He's Big Sky MVP. Like, I don't know if we've ever mentioned that, but what's the chances of him being back at Idaho State?
0, probably.
Yeah.
I was going to give it 5%.
I'd never seen him play. He looks like a pretty good player, but
he is. He's a really good player. He was the Big Sky MVP, Thorny.
Well, I understand. I heard you say that a minute ago. Yes, I'm just saying I hadn't watched him, so with my own eyes, I'm like, I can see why. I can see why he's so good. You don't know a guy's game until you watch him play.
Hey, Zach, juxtapose this. We had 41 first half points. How many first half points do we have against UNC?
17.
There it is. One of the greatest prime numbers out there, but not a great number to put up in the first half for your total.
And somehow we're only down 12.
Yeah. So the more I think about it and theorize is we honestly did not play, and especially at halftime, I was like, we played a pretty decent defensive game.
Mm-hmm.
We actually played those guys pretty well. It being there, it literally felt like there was a lid on the rim, and like literally nothing was going to go in. It was one of those nights where it's like, okay, no shot is going to go in.
There was a lot of that in Boise for a lot of different teams. Like one team just like couldn't make anything, and they're all like so many games were blowouts.
Yeah,
it was weird.
Not to be honest, not a great tournament overall.
No,
on either side until the end. Yeah,
not a lot of magic or any crazy endings or exciting finishes or. There's a few, and we'll get to one big one here coming
up.
There's
one, but yeah.
4 for 24 from downtown for the Bobcats in this one. That'll lose a lot of basketball games.
There, you have a 0% winning percentage if you go 4 for 24.
Well, 16 Battling Bears were 5 for 15 though, but
it's still 33% though.
Yeah,
it's in the 30s at least instead of 16. Yeah, they only made one more than us, but we took 9 more than they did.
That's a good point.
And this is where the argument of seeding, and we looked tired. Sam Lekalot looked tired. A lot of the guys out there looked tired, in my opinion.
They spent all their energy on Idaho State, I feel.
But it doesn't matter. It's Starch Madness. Like you said, the sauce was there. We were doing what we've done in the last 3 years. The magic was there, and we just didn't do it. Is this an indictment on Logie's offensive scheme?
I don't know.
If we're chucking 24 like threes and we can't score inside, then what are we doing? Like to me, this is an indictment on his scheme because, like you said, Zach, probably multiple times this season, when it's going good, it's going good. But when it doesn't, it's dog.
It's hard to watch basketball.
Yeah, it is, and there's no other avenues that we score. So it's like contagious. Like. I don't know, man. It was frustrating for sure.
I think the program is in a serious crossroads, and I think Logie and the coaching staff are going to have to do some serious soul searching this offseason because you have a lot of roster spots to fill going into this next year. You have a lot of guys who have been in the program for a long time who are departing. And all your one-year rentals are pretty much gone, as well as we already have one player who contributed a lot this last year who's transferring, who we all assumed was going to transfer. So
Brandon Walker, in case anyone doesn't know that.
In case anybody hasn't seen that, Walker's transferring. We have to figure out who we are because this is a point, and I will really be concerned next year because this is the point of, do you stay their trajectory of being at the top of the Big Sky and competing for a title next year? Or do you fall back to the middle of the pack? And this is just what we are now. And we fall back to what we were in the 2010s of just a middling, Big Sky team.
I mean, for the 25 years before Danny Sprinkle took us to the championship, basically.
So, do we stay at the top or do we fall back? And this is the point where we figure out what that looks like. The other thing, I mean, this time last year we were worried about getting our coach poached. We'll figure out soon too, if any Big Sky coaches get poached from the top or any transfers. I doubt there's a guy on the Big Sky all conference team that's back next year.
No, it's just how it goes nowadays.
It's just how it goes is you get, you have a great year and you get cleaned out. So we'll see how it goes there, but I think we have some soul searching, and I mean, the nice thing now is we get to probably know that our coach is going to be here for another year.
Like at minimum, we should have a 20-win season. We were 15 and 18 this year, and that's just not going to cut it.
It's not. It's an unacceptable season.
No. Especially when you hold that next to the women's program and you just see how different that is. It's just, you can't have one without the other.
But the women, I mean, look at what they had to go through the last 2 seasons. They had to, we can start getting into that, but what Trish Binford did, she had to do she had to gut her bench of assistant coaches and send some people out of the program that people were stunned were, out the door, and kind of rebuild that thing from the studs a little bit and ride the ship, which is one of the hardest things to do in basketball. Look at what, Travis DeCuires did. he had to do some serious soul searching on the Montana side to get his team back.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not in a dire situation. We're not.
No,
we're
just because you fall off the top for a little bit doesn't mean you're not going to get back there. Again, Binford and DeCure, examples of that at the moment.
We still were a top 4 team in the conference this year, but I mean, honestly, I'm kind of glad we lost to UNC in that game, because sitting there watching the championship game and attending that, those were clearly the top 2 best teams in the conference.
Yeah.
Clearly, like, just watching that, I was like, I'm glad we're not here, because we would have gotten our butt whooped by either of these teams in a title. The Grizz would have beaten us by just as many.
Yeah.
Frustrating end of the season. Matt Logie gets ejected. We didn't really talk about that.
Yeah. He didn't say much either. That was a very weak ejection. Bryce Zephyr's tech. The refs were.
He didn't go full they were on him.
They were soft baked cookies for most of Boise, in my opinion.
Yeah, I remember seeing the one that they called on Zephyr. I was like, that was such a minimal thing.
I thought both sides, it was very weak. Get some thicker skin, officials. Big Sky officials, get some thicker skin.
That doesn't make you lose by almost 30 points, though.
No. We did that to ourselves.
They're not in charge of shooting the basketball.
I think the thing that really bugged me this year with the men's team is it started to feel like I did when Coach Fish was our coach. It was just like, we win some, we lose some. And it just was, we would never win like 3 in a row. We would win 1 or 2, and then we would lose. And then we were just always just kind of up and down and very dependent on streaky shooting. It never felt like our system was strong enough to withstand the ins and outs of somebody shooting poor this night, or a star player not playing up to the potential. So that sucks to me. And then losing to Montana twice, like, I don't like losing to the Grizz twice. And that just sucks. Like, we have to take care of our business at home against those guys. And there's like, that should be like bare minimum for the men's team.
We're 10-2 in the Brawl of the Wild series, and our only 2 losses are men's basketball.
Boo! Thanks, Logie. I think we're gonna go ahead and win that series, though.
Yeah, I think we are.
Matt Logie's gonna come back next year. New hairstyle. He's gonna go short crop. New Logie, new system. It's gonna be great. Can't wait.
It's gonna be a very interesting. I sent you guys some messages today of people that were eyeing, hopefully, in the portal, but it's going to be an important month to a month and a half of finding some new guys, because there's just so many empty spots on the bench now to fill.
What are the odds we get somebody else from the Big Sky? I say we get one. I say there's somebody else from the Big Sky Conference on our team.
I'm with you.
Seems to be how it goes. I don't know who. Okay. I have no clue who. But somebody.
This conference is interesting sometimes.
All right, let's talk about the women.
Yeah.
Men, put to bed. All
Bye-bye.
right. See you guys.
Hey, just shout out. I want to shout out Tyler Patterson, man. That guy had a hell of a career and
he did
a pretty damn good senior season. And he was a Bobcat for a long time. That was only his second loss in Boise or something.
Yeah.
So which is pretty ridiculous. He was like 12-2.
Him and Sam.
Finishes his career.
Him and Sam, yeah, they're gonna be heartfelt Bobcats. I'd like to have them on the pod maybe next year. I don't want to talk to current players. I want to talk to former players.
Yeah.
I think Sam might have a little bit of eligibility left, right? He might have another year we could squeeze out of him.
Look, we had a lot of dudes hold up jerseys on senior day. So that in
is
my
McMahon
opinion,
coming back, or is he done?
When you do that, you're gone. I think McMahon has one more year.
He's listed as a senior, but I feel like he's only played this is like his first year. He actually played the entire year.
I think he has a medical red shirt.
He's done.
He's done. Wow.
I'm saying that question ningly.
Oh, I thought he was a junior. So
he's listed as a senior, but
he kind of fell off.
Yeah, he got lost in the wash with this year's transfers, I felt.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
He was like listed as like wasn't he the preseason MVP?
He was such a stud.
Was he? I don't think he was.
I'm pretty sure he was.
No, he couldn't have been the preseason MVP. It's a wild statement right there.
Let's talk about the positives now.
All right, yeah.
Your Montana State Lady Cats are 30-3 and going dancing for the third time in the Trish Binford era, I believe. Sounds right. Anyway, the first 30-win season in Big Sky Conference history. They bludgeoned their first two opponents, beating UNC 92-60 and ISU 75-42. And popping in to play a Montana team in the title game that they beat by 40 and just whooped down in Bozeman. It was one of the greatest lopsided victories I had seen while I was there in the Brick. And that Montana team came to play. We were down 15-3 at one point to start that game, and it was like, I think the Grizz made 5 consecutive threes to start the game. They shot the lights out of the ball. But the Grizz came to play, and we got in a battle. We came back. We were up at half, and I thought at halftime, I was like, all right, this is over. I think we were up 6 or 7 points. I was like, they're going to run out of gas, and we're going to cruise. And I will give all the credit to that Lady Grizz team. They fought their butts off, and they gave the Cats everything. We were up 4 with like 30 seconds to go, and Danny Barsh hits a 3, and with 7 seconds to go, we're down 1. I thought it was over.
Got the ball stolen from her, and that was critical mistake at that point. Man, they almost shot 50%. The Grizz almost shot 50% on us from the field goal. That's crazy.
They were shooting in the high 60s from us that game.
Yeah, that's wild.
And they only shot 1 free throw.
Yeah.
Which is also wild. That's a wild stat. We only shot 8 for 13. That's pretty terrible. A couple more free throws, and this game's not as close as it is.
Yeah.
No. You shoot 10 of 13, 11 of 13, then it's different narrative.
The thought that ran through my head with 7 seconds to go was, so the best regular season in Bobcat football history and the best regular season in women's basketball history are going to go down in flames like this. This is going to suck. It's like,
and to the Grizz of all things too.
Yeah. I was like, this is going to suck.
I had said in the BSPN Twitter chat that like when the Grizz were playing, whoever they're playing last game, like, come on, Grizz. I want the Grizz to win. They're playing NAU, that's right.
Yeah.
And I wanted the Grizz to win because I wanted to beat them in the chipper. And then I almost really regretted that cheering for them because I wanted to play them. I wanted this victory, and I'm glad I got it. Like, this was very satisfying. It was a lot closer than it should have been, but we ended their season, and we went to the dance off the backs of beating the Grizz. It's a good feeling.
Dykstra's drive to the hoop, miss layup, and the one question I have to ask is, where was that first shot going? Because that thing had no chance.
That's exactly how I thought the game would end. After the Grizz hit that 3-pointer, I'm like, we're going to come down and try and drive into the paint, force up a terrible shot and lose. Like, that was in my mind.
I was like, oh, and God.
It played out exactly how it would, except she got the rebound and put it back in. Otherwise, it was exactly as I was thinking it was going to end. It's like, no, that was a terrible shot.
Seeing the putback, it literally was like a corny cheesy sports movie where it's the ball just hitting the rim to see what happens to go in. And that last second took forever because it was like you see the putback go up.
Yeah, why did they even have to review that? It was clearly not even close.
I mean, it's the championship. I guess you kind of have to, but it kind of soured the celebration a little bit.
Yeah. I thought they were going to review and put time on the clock, to be honest. I thought there was maybe like half a second left. That was the only thing I was worried about.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I thought the game was over after that 3-pointer.
We did it, guys.
We did it. You and me and Foley, who just exited the room.
He just
gone.
Left.
He wasn't contributing anything of value anyway.
I wanted to. Gosh, I had some really good Ohio State jabs in here.
He'll be back. We'll save the Ohio State jabs.
He'll be back.
Man, the Grizz dominated us in the paint in this game. That was the part that was kind of hard to stomach.
Yep.
They had 24 points in the paint.
Outside too.
Yeah, they hit 10 3-pointers and they hit 24 points in the paint. So it was a tough night for the Lady Cats. Offensively, though, more than anything. 58 points. You back, Foley?
I'm back.
Okay, we were insulting you.
Awesome, as you should.
Yeah,
my last comment was they should have never reviewed that last shot. It was clearly
it's clearly in.
And Krista Redpath was like, "Well, they're gonna have to look at this one."
Yeah, I did. Really? How was the broadcast? By the way?
How do you feel about Krista Redpath's performance, Foley?
I mean,
don't be nice.
I'm not going to say anything nice, so I'm not going to say much right now because that's not something we really lean into in this podcast. It just needs to be equal, and I think Satcap put that out there on Bobcat Nation, and I agreed with him. So if you're going to call the 3-point shot as you did with 7 seconds left, then Mare's shot at the end needs to have that same enthusiasm, and it clearly didn't. So I can't imagine being a color commentator, especially when you had played for a team. That would be really hard. Obviously, we're a fan podcast, so it's always jaded our way or biased our way on how we see things.
And I would be the consummate professional. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be super hard for her. I've always respected her as far as just like her analysis. I think she has good insight and research on the players, but when it comes to, I guess when I listen to her is most of the time is in these Cat Grizz games, and it just feels like, yeah. So end up turning down.
There's nothing wrong with saying that.
Yeah, no, I don't think there isn't. But if you're gonna be a color commentator, you need to be able to call it straight for both teams.
Absolutely.
That brings me into giving a shout out to Daniel Sally, our women's radio broadcaster, and they have a live YouTube stream. So when I start getting frustrated with broadcasts like that, I just turn on Keaton or Daniel and let them take me away and be homers, because those dudes do a great job covering the teams, and they give you the calls you want.
There you go. Sometimes it's what you got to do.
YouTube is free, and you can sync it up.
Thornton, what did you think of it, man? What did you think of Krista's call?
Honestly, it didn't occur. It didn't bother me in the moment. I didn't think about it. I'd have to go back and rewatch it to maybe even notice it. But I was just over the moon that it was happening. I probably had a bunch of kid nonsense going on. I'm not even sure I fully heard anything, if I had to be honest with you. But no, it didn't strike me at the time.
Yeah.
But I was just over the moon about the not losing to the Grizz.
Where does that moment now go in Montana State history?
I mean, that's like top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Think so?
To go 30-3, win the conference, and head to March Madness off a last second shot like that. I mean, it's got to be up there.
That one, the only one that basketball wise is the Raekwon Battle shot against Northern Colorado.
But wasn't that a meaningless game?
I mean, it won the conference championship for us.
Yeah, I thought we already thought we had that wrapped up
from the logo.
I don't know. It was just an awesome moment. And of course, the alley-oop dunk was that Sprinkle's first year or second year? To like Darius Brown to Raekwon Battle that basically won the game right at the very end. That one's up there.
Yeah.
That was really good. I remember that.
Weber. Yeah.
You and I were doing that live TV thing.
Yeah.
Believe me.
That was before I knew you guys. I think I was on that live stream.
It was fun. Yeah, it was this. Gosh, what was that called? Was it Justin TV? What was that called?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, it was cool. You could sync up a game and have a live watch party, and we were doing it for the championship run that year. That was fun. But yeah, those are probably the basketball moments that come to my mind.
Yeah, it's cool seeing the women go 30-3. That's amazing. Outstanding. Really cool for them. Man, I can't believe we won this game. I'm just diving into these stats. There's nothing we shot really poorly. It just looks like
the disparity in free throws is decent.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's where we won, right?
And steals.
Yeah. See fast.
Yeah, there's a lot of stats that would say that suggests it was a close game.
Yep.
Do you think the Grizz are that good, or do you think they just played inspired?
I think the Cats kind of played crappy.
I think we had a bad game, and I think that Grizz team was believing, and they played their asses off.
Yeah.
Like, they were playing for a coach to get a job, is what it seemed like.
Yeah.
And that coach is now the women's. They pulled the interim tag off him. He's now there. Yeah, he got the job.
Good job.
He should.
But I heard a lot of things that basically the rumors I heard were, if he doesn't get the job, half that team's in the portal the next day.
So you're in the portal anyway.
Yeah. So that Grizz team, I think, I think they were pretty supportive of him. The players loved him, and when you go through something of adversity of losing a coach midseason and somebody steps up and takes you on a magical run like that and kind of rides the ship, I think they were believing and they were willing to play for him. And I think they played an insane game against NAU. They were down 12 at half. So to come back and beat that NAU team and then the next day turn around and play us like that, yeah, they were on another level.
It was an impressive performance by the Grizz for sure.
Yeah,
I think they maxed their ceiling out. I think the Cats just played average for the Cats.
Yeah, we had a lot of mistakes in that game.
Not necessarily a bad game, just like not a good game. And that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah,
that's how it goes. But going dancing and playing Foley's Ohio State Buckeyes.
I've been waiting for this my whole life. Bobcats versus Buckeyes. I just love it. I was so stoked when I saw that. I was like, yes, it's going to actually happen.
Would you say you're going nuts for it?
No, I mean,
is that something I don't get that reference there? What's happening?
Well,
it's a Buckeyes a nut.
Buckeye is a nut.
The Buckeyes a nut.
Yep.
What? What do I? No.
The Bucknuts. You didn't know that?
I didn't care what it was. It's just one of those things in sports you never think about. Like, what the hell is a Cleveland Brown? What's a Brown? I don't know.
It's a person. Apparently, it's an elf.
It's an elf?
Yeah. Have you never seen their elf logo?
I don't know. It's just one of those things that I never thought about.
What's a Johnny? The St. John Johnnies.
Yeah. It's a region of, I don't know, man.
I gotta be honest. Buckeye, I'll say it because I hate Michigan and Ohio State. Buckeye, stupid mascot.
Oh,
you're named after a nut.
Oh,
what's his name?
Brutus.
No, yeah.
You look at me like mascot. I have to pay attention to.
You just learned the Buckeye is a nut about 2 minutes ago.
This is blowing my mind.
What did you think, Brutus? What did you think the mascot was? Like, what did you think?
I thought it was just like a big fuzzy thing. I didn't know what he was. Mascots don't make sense. What's that? What is it? The Philadelphia Phillies guy? What the hell is that thing? I don't know what that is.
The Fanatic?
Yeah, what is that? What is he? Or what is the Flyers? What is it with Philadelphia and having the weirdest, stupid mascots that make no sense to anything?
I'll give you another hot take.
Man, you don't think about it.
The Seattle Kraken mascot, stupid.
What is it?
Buoy. It's like a troll.
But
you can do so many better things.
They don't actually have an octopus or a
kraken? They have a troll. It's a terrible mascot.
Interesting.
Google this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, looks like it's from the movie Trolls.
Yeah, terrible mascot. What does that have to do with a kraken? But then what does a moose have to do with the Seattle Mariners? I don't know.
Well, new Seattle Kraken mascot expected to either fight or mate with Gritty. That's a headline I just came across. Pulling the whole thing together here. There's a horrible picture of Gritty just looking crazy as always, staring at the weird mascot for the Kraken. That is a terrible mascot. Oh man, I'm mad now.
What would the R&R CatCast mascot be?
What would our question? Just a beer can?
Just a coolie, like it's somebody in a coolie costume.
I was just thinking like a beer with like eyes and like arms sticking out. He just comes in and hugs you.
No, it's gonna be a pot of chili. Beer. Just somebody in a chili pot.
Do you remember the beer you drank, Thorny, that had a toaster that was skateboarding?
No. What? A toaster?
Oh, no. I think I had a toaster. I might not have been skateboarding. It was the weirdest beer you ever debuted on the CatCast.
It sounds vaguely familiar. Like on the can.
And it was like, it was King something. King Crispy.
Oh, King. Yeah. I thought he looked like a toaster.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I can't believe I just remembered that.
Oh, yeah. There it is. He's riding a bicycle. Yeah, it's a toaster riding a bicycle with a scepter and a crown and a mustache.
Anyway, tweet us what you want our mascot to be.
King Crispy.
AI a mascot.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Somebody tell us what our mascot should be because I can't think of this on the spot right now. But if you come up with the mascot, we should have a contest. You win a coolie. You win a coolie. You come up with the mascot.
I think somebody.
The weirder, the better.
Somebody just doused in 2 chilies.
It's like a chili, and half of it's like white chili, and half of it's like red chili, like split down the middle.
No, you can't mix white and red chili.
They're not mixed. There's a perfect.
We've talked about this. We've talked about this.
Maybe like Jabba the Pizza the Hut from Spaceballs, something like that.
All right, fellas. I know this is a basketball podcast, but can we talk just a brief moment about bringing in Justin Lamson on the quarterback? Is this going to be another 2 quarterback system?
No.
Thank God.
Is this our Logan Fife?
Oh,
or is it just Tyler Brugman 2.0?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't think it's a 2 quarterback system. I think maybe they'll like try a few guys out a little bit, but they'll settle on a guy. Worst case, I think they settled on a guy before.
Yeah.
But personally,
I don't like this.
We'll know who the starter is by the end of spring.
I don't like this because I think you try to empower the guys within the quarterback room is already deep, in my opinion. I've never seen River Warren take a snap. I've never seen, Chance Wilson. Does he get the reins and just go for it? What about Jordan Reed? What's Jordan Reed going to do? Like, I'd like to see the cream rise to the crop or to the top. And then we bring in a graduate transfer and you're like, what? Why?
He's got 2 years left.
Does he?
Yeah.
I thought he had his degree from Stanford already.
It says he has 2 years left when I read it.
All right.
Because it's negligent not to.
You think so?
Is that the phrasing that somebody once spoke last year?
I have no idea.
If you know who I'm talking about.
Not gonna lie, when I saw Justin quarterback, didn't even know who he was. I was hoping he was the defensive end. I was like, when you said quarterback, I was like,
Can I revisit my spring game take that now, since I mentioned it, 5 major programs have canceled their spring game, and then Primetime himself had, I thought, the most genius idea ever of, why don't we go play somebody in our spring game?
Oh, that's been an idea that's floated around forever.
Yeah, and Syracuse's head coach hit him up and goes, yeah, we'll come out for 3 days and do practice with you and play in a spring game. Like,
why not?
Why not?
I think it's great.
Why not get Southern Utah?
As long as there's no NCAA violation, but not that matters.
Cat Grizz.
The NCAA doesn't matter anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, play the Grizz in the spring game every year. People will get hurt.
Oh my gosh, that'd be.
Why
so
not play
fun.
like Montana Tech or somebody or Carroll? That'd be kind of fun.
I won't play the Grizzlies and play them in Butte. Put it right in the middle, Ranchi Stadium.
On St.
Talk about a hot ticket right there.
On St. Patty's Day.
How many arrests would happen if there was a Cat Grizz game in Butte on St. Patrick's Day?
Butte would get burned down. I mean, we're talking about like Chicago type fires, and Butte would be burned to this.
Gosh, that'd be amazing. I think that's a good idea. That's a good idea. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
It's not a real game, but you can tailgate and get full throat like it was a real game. I'm just gonna steal that from Jeff Choate forever. I love that line.
Oh yeah,
I brought up Jeff Choate. Who had that on their bingo card?
I was gonna say that's a rarity. Anyway, I think, I don't know. I think it would be fun to play like a scheduling alliance of just some random Missouri vet, like all of them would like do a little challenge, like the Big Sky Summit League town. Do a Missouri Valley Big Sky Spring Challenge where like, I don't know, you get like Northern Iowa or somebody in here.
Yeah, Illinois who's going to pay that much money for a spring football game though to send your entire team away? That's a lot of money. For an FCS program.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's fun to think about in the FBS when there's millions of dollars and everyone doesn't care, but it's a little bit different when you're budgeting at Northern Iowa. Like, am I going to fly my team over to Montana State for a spring game? A couple $100,000.
I think that might be the biggest hurdle would be like the coach's ego being like, we're not going to show anything.
Yeah.
So we're just going to play completely vanilla. So we're not going to, we're not going to game plan. We're not going to put anything out on tape.
Shoot, the coaches can we just pay Mercyhurst $150,000 every year to come play us in the spring?
Why the heck are we playing Mercyhurst again?
We play them again?
Yep, we play them again this
year.
They're
coming back out. I know.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Oh, that's fun.
Anything else, Zach? We good?
You guys do brackets?
Yep, yeah? I'm going to win like I always do.
Who do you guys have?
I don't remember. I think I picked Duke.
I have the Johnnies. St. John ones.
I had them in the Final Four at least, I think.
Houston,
okay.
I would be excited to see St. John back up there. It's been a long time since St. John was like really relevant. It'd be kind of cool again.
All right. Last thing on my show sheet is we got baseball season starting in 2 weeks. What is your favorite major league ballpark to go to? And it can't be your home team stadium.
I've only visited 2 in my life.
Same.
Really?
I've only been to 2. So I have to pick the one that's not the Orioles. So then I guess the Mariners.
Boo. I got to go to San Francisco's last year, and that was the first time I had been there, and that place is everything as advertised. It's pretty awesome.
On TV, the Pirates Park, I think it's called PNC. I might be wrong on that, but I think I'm right on that. That looks like an amazing field. I've run around Fenway, actually, jogging around Fenway. Actually, I've toured Fenway. So yeah, I'd go Fenway.
Yeah, and then my underrated, it's not my favorite, but it's one that I love to watch games, and I've been to like 4 games of, is Comerica Park in Detroit. Is awesome. That's a great park.
Yeah.
That's a really cool place. It's in a great area too. I'll give Detroit a ton of praise. That place is awesome.
That's cool.
All right, guys. I forgot I went to the Diamondbacks Stadium like 20 some years ago. It's been a minute. So I have been to a few, I guess.
I've been to one that's demolished. Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. No longer there. Imploded. Taking ground balls on AstroTurf, man. There you go.
Yeah. Bobcats plus 14.5 to Ohio State.
We probably don't cover.
You don't think we cover?
We could cover.
I say we backdoor cover is what I think.
Backdoor cover, okay.
That's what I think. That's where I'm going. But
there you go.
All right, boys, let's get out of here. It's been a fun year. It's been an interesting year. Yeah, thanks for letting me do this again. It's been inconsistent this year, but still fun to talk about the team and get to talk to you guys. So
absolutely,
thanks for coming up. Thanks for coming along, and go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.